All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm Justmoparjoe. Today we are finishing the AC stuff on the 65 Coronet. This stuff should help you with any car out there. This is a universal kit. You could put it on literally anything that they make a compressor for. So check out the video. I'm gonna go over a few things that I wish I would have done earlier, so hopefully that'll help you out as well. Let's start. Okay, so step one, I've got my condenser mounted. Joe actually helped me out with this. Thanks, Joe. We got the condenser mounted yesterday, bolted in place, and you can fab your brackets any way you want to. These ended up being Z-shaped, and these are just kind of factory channel style. But she's very sturdy, no movement at all. It's got at least a 1/4 inch clearance down there off of the brace, so I can get a fingertip through. So the directions for this, classic auto air, they were pretty vague about where stuff goes. They did give you a cool diagram, and they didn't say start here, do this. They said here's a basic overview, and then they show you inside on your box where the suction line goes and where that it says liquid pressure line. So the rest of it you kind of got to figure out on your own, and it's not bad after you start looking. This one, so it's labeled on the back of the compressor, S&D, suction and discharge. So we're going to come out of the condenser, go into the compressor. I'll show you the lines in a minute, but we have the lines made up. I've got to take them to town and get them crimped. So the big issue I needed help with was getting the lines fed through my grommets there. And I chose the 2 grommets that were easiest for the AC refrigerant lines first. Then I'll run my heater hoses through the other 2 remaining, because a heater hose is a lot more flexible than, see here, it's a lot more flexible than these AC lines. So you got 3 sizes of AC lines that came with the kit. And this is what's left over. If you look at their ends, it goes kind of small, medium, large. So what is that, 5/16 is the smallest. 13/32 for the second. There it is. And then our big boy, where's he at? 1/2 inch, there it is. So there's your 3 sizes of lines. And the fittings, they give you gobs and gobs and gobs of fittings. These are the extra fittings. I actually have a full, these are the extra fittings that you get with a kit. So I'm not sure if they sent me these 2 bags by mistake or what the deal was, just to have extras, but that's cool. You can see the connections here for your hoses. They're the red and the blue. And the fittings are sized for the hoses. So obviously you can quickly tell that this big jumbo fitting doesn't go in that smaller hose. It won't go. So it kind of makes it dummy proof, and we were the dummies yesterday. We got that figured out fairly quickly. So let me go get these crimped up and installed on the car, and I will share with you some of the challenges of making them up. All right, I got hoses back. I went ahead and ran my bottom out, and it goes through our nice little hole there. Got a nice grommet, big fat beautiful grommet. Then it goes straight to the dryer. So the inlet on the dryer, you see IN. Second hose comes out of the top of the condenser, goes through that hole, and you'll see I got gloves on. I'll tell you in a minute why. I ran it through that grommet, and it goes to the discharge side of our compressor. And I haven't put those together yet. I'm gonna do the outside first here. They give you a little bit of, I'm assuming this is refrigerant oil to put on your O-rings. There's a fat pack of random O-rings that they give you. But it's self-explanatory to a point, but there's no instructions that I could read that says put the white tube of stuff on the O-rings. But it was packaged with the O-ring, so I'm pretty sharp. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on there. So inside the O-rings, outside the O-rings, slip it on, slip it in, tighten it up. And it's just as simple as can be here. I'll put a little dab here, like that. Set my stuff down. That is, I believe that medium size. There we go, like that. Pressure on. Nothing to it. And after it's on, I'm gonna give it a little spin. I want the ring to be lubed all the way around so it can slide in and out. It won't bunch or bind. And I'll put a little more on the outside. Not running it off in the floor, but at the same time, I want to be sure that tube lasts for the entire install. There it is. I'll pull my hose out and down. I had all these hoses marked. You can see a little bit of that red left. I had very strong marks on them to orient them because they're very hard to twist and turn if you don't have them correctly done. See a little bit of my orange marker still left on here. So I had to keep the marks lined up whenever we were crimping them, just to be sure all that would go together. If this was a ready to install kit, this part would have taken less than a couple hours probably to run the hoses and stuff, but having to cut the hoses, verify, figure out where they go, that took more than a couple hours, I assure you. Let me hook these hoses up real quick and I'll talk to you about something I would have done differently. So you see my line kind of sticking up over there. I haven't hooked it to the compressor yet. It goes down into my grommet there and up through here. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. Right there. There she is. So that has to go, it comes in. I got about 2.5, 3 inches on the other side of that box. Then it comes up and hooks to our box right there. So I had to use a 90 on that. It's not in a great bind, anything like that, but if I would have done this differently, I would have probably moved that hole up. And I wouldn't know where to move that hole up to. If I had planned a little bit better, I would have moved that hole up. But I drilled those holes when it was easy for me to get to them, and I was in the process of mounting the box. So if you're doing this at home, keep in mind where your lines go, because if that hole was 1 inch higher, I would basically make a straight little, see how I have to curve down and get that grommet? Life would have been much easier on my part, but I've got that one tight. It's a 1 inch wrench, took that, and there's our smaller one. So I got one more line to run through. I will run the line through, and then I'll do my heater hoses. So you see these two here, I've already popped they put a suction or something on these whenever they sell them. So that's how you know that they're still good. If you pull the rubber out, it makes a hissing noise. So obviously this is a circuit. So I've already pulled out the other rubber and I heard my hiss, remember? I don't know if I can get that rubber out of there. There it is. Okay, so I got my rubber out. The other thing I need to hook up is my valve that comes out of these heater hoses. So they will come out, go through the grommets, and they show the valve. One's marked heater core, one's marked water pump. It goes that way. So here's where they show their valve and just a wire running through it to there. If that wire is long enough, I will mount it outside. And the main reason for that, if it has a failure, you know, it's plastic, something happens and it cracked under the dash, it would just basically flood the floorboard with more antifreeze. So I don't really want to do that. I got this big line. I need to get her hooked up. And one more line ran. It'll go from the outlet on this dryer into the small nipple inside. So let me do that and we'll be done. AC complete. The only thing I didn't do and I did it on purpose. I got my blue wire ran right here that I'm going to run to my high pressure switch. So it'll go into that switch, out of that switch, and to the compressor. I did not connect any of that yet. The reason being, I'm going to drive this car now that I've got the heater hoses hooked up. See, my long one runs to here, goes up. It's definitely messy under the hood now, but it's a necessary evil for what it is. So I've got my heater control valve, wire ran through, bracket, and mounted the valve itself to the firewall, so it's nice and tight, secure. All my lines are tight, and they're ran. I mean, you could do it a little cleaner, maybe. Joe and I discussed putting these lines like this. I know they make a different fitting for this, and I left that line just a little bit long if I have to. When we go to put the hood on, if it touches, I can go and get a new line put on here. So just basically cutting here. The kit came with 2 full sets of hoses, and I don't know if it was supposed to or not. So I could always, and I have so many extra parts. I mean, this is the beginning of it, but a whole nother dryer. So I wonder, did they accidentally ship 2 sets or something? I didn't know, and it's probably too late to send anything back. They're not going to want to pay shipping on that stuff to go back. So I'll have it for extra stuff. But I'm going to get out and drive the car, see how well the heater works, and this coming week I can get that AC charged. So anyway, I hope this helps y'all. If you're putting this kit in a car of some sort, get that condenser in there. Car, truck, whatever. I wouldn't call it easy by any means. Just kind of time consuming. Having to figure out where parts and pieces go. Make your own instructions. So once again, I appreciate y'all watching. If you like the red Coronet and videos with it, I've got a full playlist. I got several playlists of old Mopars. I fixed an old Chevy truck. I actually cut a Mustang in half and welded it back together. So if you're into that sort of thing, I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch you next time. Needed to gear down. Full strong. I think the more fuel I've given it, the happier it's been so far. We're gonna run it back and check that plug.